I've been playing a lot of finals lately, more specifically, tournaments and ranked over the last week or so. And in doing that, I found a ton of problems that the finals has that need to be fixed pretty soon in order for this game to last a long time like we all want. Well, all except for EA. Just to preface, I've been having a ton of fun on the finals, and I think it's an amazing game that came out very polished compared to other AAA games that come out nowadays. And for a small development team over at Embark, I give them a ton of credit. Finals feels like every first-person shooter game I've ever played, jam-packed into a single game, and I love it. I'm making this video purely as constructive criticism, as I really want to see this game do well and last for years to come. If I missed anything you think is a big issue, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Starting off with some balance issues, Invis Shotgun is extremely powerful right now, and simply not fun to play against. There's very little counterplay as the cloak has a very quiet sound cue, and it's hard to see if you don't know they're close. I think the shotgun needs a small spread and damage nerf to make it less forgiving, as of right now, you can easily take out lights and mediums even with shots that aren't even on target. The cloak could also use a small nerf, maybe to the ability to see it while they're moving, as well as just to make the sound cue a little bit louder. Next is the stun gun. As of recording this, the stun gun lasts 5 seconds. I think it should be turned down to 3 seconds, as of right now, a light player can stun you, go get coffee from the closest Starbucks, come back, and you'll still be stunned. It's a bit ridiculous, and as a light player myself, I understand why people hate it so much. It should be more of an ability to cancel opponents' gadget use rather than a free kill 99% of the time. Oh god, not that number again. Last thing on the light is I would love to see the grapple hook have 2 charges, similar to how the dash can charge up to 3. I think this would make the hook a lot more viable, as of right now, it's not great compared to the other 2. Moving on to medium, the recon sense has a similar problem to the cloak, as it's a very quiet sound cue, and in the midst of a building collapsing, it's near impossible to hear. I think making it louder or even showing you on your screen that you're being tracked or detected would be a nice change and give yourself just a little bit more outplayability. I also think the defib invincibility frames are a bit too forgiving right now. This is the amount of time someone's invincible after being defibbed. Right now, it's pretty long, and I'd like to see it turned down in order to counter it, as it's a lot more powerful in ranked, where everyone's running 1 or 2 mediums with defibs and staying close to each other. That's pretty much all I have for mediums right now, as everything else is pretty balanced. It would be nice to see the turret's HP less than 100,000, but it's also the medium's worst ability, so I don't think it should be touched right now. Next is the heavies, and I think with some welcome nerfs, we could see the light actually be playable in ranked. As I mentioned, I mostly play light, and going against a good heavy is extremely frustrating in ranked, as their whole kit can basically insta-kill you. First, can we please turn the RPG damage down to 149? There's no reason for it to be at 150. It really gives lights absolutely no counterplay besides hitting a stun gun if you already have it ready. Realistically, if you get hit as a light for 149, you're gonna die anyway, so why not just give them a small chance to survive? Next, and one of my most hated ways of getting kills, is the nuke, simply because it takes no skill in my opinion. Putting 2 C4s on the closest throwable when you spawn in and throwing it at the first person you see for an insta-kill. Wow, very impressive. Anyways, I understand that at its core, the game was made for fun, so I don't see them completely removing this mechanic, but I think it would be great if the C4s weighed down the throwables a significant amount, even more than the mines do, in order for it to not just be a free kill from any range. I can't count the amount of times a nuke has completely won another team the fight in a ranked game. It honestly feels really bad for the competitive integrity of the game, and it's definitely at the top of my list for balance changes. Speaking of competitive integrity, let's talk about the rank system. As of right now, the finals use a hidden MMR to match you into rank lobbies, making your rank symbol absolutely pointless. As I mentioned in the intro, I've been playing a lot of rank lately after mostly being in quick cash. As someone who's been good at every first person shooter I play, the finals came natural. So as soon as I started playing, I was ahead of the curve. My KD skyrocketed to a little over a 2, and in this game, that means I'm getting paired with top players as soon as I touch ranked. My 4th ranked game ever as a bronze, I played against the number 3 player in the world. I was extremely disappointed, as this is the same system Apex Legends has recently switched to, and well, you see how that's going. This is a glaring issue in my opinion, as a good rank system can keep players engaged and give them something to grind for. But when you use hidden MMR, you make the grind feel unrewarding and it feels like I'm not climbing the ladders of the ranks. I understand you want to protect the bad players, but it's not like good players are stuck in bronze, silver, or gold for long. Why not just the traditional rank system we all know and love, instead of this protect the noobs, farm engagement bullshit? This is one of the bigger issues the game has in my opinion, as I really don't have any motivation to grind from bronze to diamond versus top 500 players the entire time, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same. Speaking more on competitive integrity, I'm sure most of you have seen this video about how everyone's using exploits to get zero recoil and aim assist on mouse and keyboard. Now, let me know your thoughts on this, but my opinion is I think a lot less people are using this than you think. This will lead us to our next topic, but simply put, I think the real issue is aim assist. I've logged thousands of hours playing first-person shooter games on controller growing up, and this game's aim assist is unlike anything I've ever seen. For an above average player, this game's aim assist is like an aimbot with the tracking, snapping, and zoom slow. If you've ever been beamed like crazy at close range, maybe before instantly accusating them, you can take a step back and realize it's just a sweaty ass controller player. Like I said, I play controller on this game, so I can say firsthand how insanely broken it is right now. I think it'll be turned down a bit in the future once people realize that it's even the issue, but until then, I feel like ranked, especially towards the top, are going to be controller dominated for the same reason that Apex is. Moving on to blatant cheating, personally, I've only seen 2, maybe 3 in my games I know for a fact were cheating. I've heard some people in the community say they're seeing them a lot more, so I'd like to hear your guys' experience. Like I said, I haven't really had a bad experience with hackers or any sort of exploits. I really only think a handful of people are using these aim assist exploits, most of which are in their upper echelons of ranked and the MMR, therefore most of you won't even have to experience it. At the end of the day, cheating is wrong, and I personally believe most people aren't going to cheat for that reason. They simply just want to have a good time on a game they enjoy. Anyways, sorry about that little rant. Let's move on to the last topic, and that's the meta. Like I said, right now, light isn't in the meta. I'd like to see that change, just so it's a little less stale and ranked, because right now, if you're not running double medium heavy or double heavy medium, you're at a huge disadvantage. Unless you're an insane light, you won't be able to compete right now, and I think a few small changes to the heavy's one-shot abilities could help the light out a ton when it comes to being played. Another change I'd like to see is not allowing 3 of one class on a single team. If you've played tournaments or ranked before, you probably know where I'm going with this, but triple medium is so toxic and overpowered if played by good players, in my opinion. The triple defib paired with a healing beam or 2 with some wall hacks is extremely powerful right now, and I really think it shouldn't be allowed in ranked. I'm not sure how they'd implement this, whether they take the Overwatch route with roll queue, or something else entirely, like giving the said team a cooldown on when you can revive a teammate again after using the first defib. Either way, I'd like to see something change to that, because fighting a 3v6 is simply unrealistic in a game where TTK is so high. Alright guys, these are all the major problems I see with the game right now. If I missed anything, make sure you leave it down below, and if you agree or disagree with some of my ideas, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Thank you all for the support, I can't thank you all enough. Next video coming soon on how to play tourneys and ranked, so keep an eye out for that. Alright guys, until next time, peace.